Welcome aboard the Captain
Welcome back at Vitris. What a timing.
Experience. Could new subscribers
Perfect
please
timing.
make your way to the first class cabin,
18 months,
where
good God.
complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chris. Chris, I hope you're doing well. How are you doing? Thank you so much. Organ Aviator, hello to you as well. So we got Alex here with us, Bernard, Jeremiah, and Gillind.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Good evening for me.
We are on live weather, and so we are flying to Sierra Victor Mike Charlie. Flight time is about an hour.
1 hour and 9 minutes.
Yep. And planning to fly level 350. Cool. Joes, welcome back. Thank you. Right. So I've already loaded in some stuff. So let's have a look at ground services. Actually, no, that goes automatically. Let's go mass and balance. Let's load the aircraft, and let's do that in 8 minutes. Hang on, reset. Sorry, reset. Oh no, I think I've broken it now. I was going to go with GSX. Didn't want to try that. So 151 cargo. Wow, that's really high. Zero fuel weight, blimey. And fuel is supposed to be 7.5. I hope I haven't broken it now. So apply, load aircraft, GSX. There we go.
Refueling truck is on its way.
Have you flown the FENIX since the update? Yes, I've done
Please
one
don't
flight
load aircraft until the fuel
2
truck
days ago,
arrives and ask to
and
do
I
it.
had a feeling that the flare is a little bit better.
What is it painting on your aircraft black box?
Yeah. Well, it says Disney.
Fuel truck
and
is in
Canto.
position.
Isn't it? Oh, nice.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Cool.
Catering vehicles are on their way.
Catering is also on the way. Yeah, that's fantastic. Cool. So,
Is
so
Jeremiah already pushing back?
nice. Do you have the SDS of? Well, to be honest, it relies on the fact what kind of peripherals you use. If you use, a Warthog flight stick, if you use a TCA Airbus flight stick, you're going to have to try that for yourself. I can't give you a recommendation on that because I'm using the Warthog Thrustmaster flight stick that is a little bit heavier. And so I think the SDS is more for people that have a little kind of a more springy joystick.
Blackbox, could you please explain me the sim settings in the FENIX app? There are some things new and I don't know what they are for.
Okay, so let's have a look if I can. I don't know if I know everything, but so sim settings, which ones would you like me to explain to you?
On controls, on the bottom controls, on the top right. Yeah, the first row, I don't know what it means.
So SDS is the abbreviation for side stick dampening system. So it's supposed to be for people that have if you have a flight stick that is somewhat stiffer in the sense that you need more force to move it around, then I think that should be on. So if you have the TCA Airbus stick, SDS off. Okay. Well, they have a settings recommendation on their page, on the web page. But the thing is, you're gonna have to try yourself. For me, honestly, I didn't feel a big difference having it on or off. And so at the moment I have it on.
I think maybe it is when your controls generate some spikes or so that they dampen the spikes of the controls. But when you have a good quality control, and you don't need it maybe.
Well, also I think if your side stick is a bit more springy, then when you pull back, it will move quicker. So I guess it's just delaying, it's dampening the inputs a little bit.
Okay.
And that's also doing. Now, rudder damping, same thing. So it dampens the inputs that you do. So it will have a little bit of a time delay, if you like. That's how I understand it.
And scroll acceleration?
Scrolling, I have no idea. I never tried that. I don't use that.
And what means control position? Is it if you're sitting left or right in the cockpit, or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And incremental thrust handling?
I guess that's when you're using thrust movements with the keyboard or something.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So that it gets into the notches or something.
Okay, and the rest is clear. Yeah. And you need the auto jetway simulation and auto door simulation for GSX?
Yeah, if you want, I don't know, do you need that active or not? That's the question, because I thought...
I don't know exactly.
Let's have a look. So, because it has GSX, auto pushback, auto connect, auto catering, controls, auto jetway simulation, auto door simulation. I think.
Postcode says scroll acceleration is for turning knobs, autopilot and radio. For example, the knobs turn faster than.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's fine. Nice. So Atsu AOC menu init request. Avianca 711 route request.
Boarding requested. Passengers bus is coming.
If you let go of the warthog, it will. Well, yeah, but again, you know, then maybe, I mean, nobody usually lets go of the stick and have it spring back. So again, I didn't feel much of a difference between the two, but
Passengers boarding starting.
Try it out. Try both settings and see what's best for your peripherals. I don't think it's any good, you know, anyone recommending something unless they have the same peripherals as you have. So we're using cost index of 5. Now, what I'm going to do on this flight, I'm going to use random failures.
Oh.
See what happens.
Triple hydraulic failure.
Last time I had something very, very basic, so we'll see. We shall see.
Co-pilot navigation display failure.
Yeah, so the other people here with me in the chat. So when you do group flights, you feel free to join our Discord. We have a voice channel there. So we got Brenold. So one of my moderators is here, Brenold, and another friend, Jeremiah, as well. So that's the other people you hear speaking sometimes. So 7.5, and the reserve fuels, we need 2.1 for the alternate. 2.1. Then we'll have wind request. Oh, you have a failure as well, Alex. What? Yeah, random, or are you actually planning something specific? GG's. Mark is sitting in his comfy chair, watching others sweat. Yeah.
Popcorn is ready, I hope.
Yeah.
GSX was very quick in my case.
Okay.
Correct.
Hydraulic, okay. Oops, hang on. I was just about to enter something. Maintenance, no. Config, random failures. So we'll have failure type all, high. Inserted. Already? Hang on, didn't we have that last time? And we did a reset. I'm sure we had that last time, right?
Passengers bus is coming.
And
Smart cast ready, black box.
oh, good thing you... And the reset works. That's so weird. Good thing that you remind me, Reynolds.
Passengers boarding starting.
I have it on my checklist as first position and it's red marked. Because I forgot it often.
Yeah. So... hang on. Go back. So what do I need to choose? So, hang on. There it is. I keep forgetting. So it's just the without the one engine out. Yeah, exactly. There we go. So now I've logged in. So let's make sure I have a bid on the flight today. Tour Center, Hawaii, Colombian, not Hawaiian. So details, fly the leg. So, flight has started. Fantastic, cool. That worked. Perfect. Right, so that's all done. So we're doing departure, runway 14. Alpha Bravo Lima 1 hotel departure. For the arrivals, so what weather do we have at our destination? Let's check that here. Weather brief. So, here we have 32 degrees. And at our destination, Simon Bolivar, we have 110 at 2, few 1600, scatter 10,000. So the weather is good. We have VOR approaches, we have RNF approaches. So let's do a practice VOR approach. 03 left. GPF spoofing would be a cool feature. Yeah, I mean, that's something for Toto to program. So 03 left arrivals. We are arriving via boat. No, Sierra Tango Bravo. Oh, Bobat, not boat. Bobat. I read boat for some reason. No, Bobat. Then we go to Vetsi, and we would have to fly an approach from there. Let's have a look. So the VOR approach, 3 left. I'm going to fly this raw data, shall we? Including the DME arc. So we're going to join the arc from, let's have a look, from Vetsi. Yeah, we'll join the arc somehow and then fly the approach. And that's the arrival airport. 3 left, the longer runway. Aircraft is loaded. Fantastic. So let me get to the questions. Wolfgang, hello to you. Henry, Is it option to remove the DCDU? That's a good question. Hold on. Is there a airframe? Yeah, you can. Apparently, because I didn't even notice that it was gone. Yeah, you can. I can confirm. Airbus Addict. What? Hang on. Sorry. Is that the reset? Oh yeah. Well, no. So the reset. If the reset is being commanded by the procedure, then you would do it. If it's not requested by the procedure, the ELEC fault, for example, then you would not do a reset unless you confirm that with your maintenance, etc. Or if you say as the captain, for the safe conduct of the flight, I think that a reset is safer than flying without the reset, then you can do that as well. But you should definitely know what you're doing. So let's go 9,000 initially. Oh, let me just start my mini FCU here. Upload config. So open config. So where do I have the configs? Let's see. Does that work now? Oh, great. Today it works. So, I don't know. Sometimes mini FC works. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. But today it works. Very happy. Oh, that comes in handy. Oh, yeah. The safety first documents. Highly recommendable. Yeah, absolutely. Going to take the arrival via... I think it was Veron, wasn't it? Well, we'll do that later. Cool. That's all done. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. All doors already closed. Fantastic. Init A page is filled out. B page is almost filled out. We're waiting for the final load sheet numbers. So let's go ATSU AOC menu, received messages, load sheet. And that's the final load sheet. So we'll take 58.9, it says here, which is a bit different to what I had initially. Just check that here. No, that's fine. We're 58.9, so we changed that. With a CG of 31.4. Cool. 66.2 takeoff weight. That adds up. 200 kilograms taxi fuel. That's good. So we'll sync the weather. Hang on, did I? No, that's disregard. Departure. So, 1.4 is correct. Dry, sync load sheet. Packs will take off. Weather is fine. Let's calculate that. Flaps 1, down 0.2. We're going to send that to the MCDU, 25, 40, 40. Good. So we're going to take 3,000, 4,600. Engine out. Rest as is. Status, Cat 2, that should clear up after engine start. So let's have a start the APU. So 320 with the CO engines. Technically at the moment, all good. Fuel, 7.5 tons. Symmetrically supplied. Extra fuel is about 800 kilograms. It says 1,100 kilograms. About 25 to 30 minutes extra. And MSA for departure is high to the northwest or west. We're departing on the Alpha Bravo Lima departure towards Alpha Bravo Lima. Initial climb 9,000, transition 18,000. Sector there is 13.5 to the east 5.7. Sorry, Bernard, were you about to say something?
Yeah, that was a very ambitious performance calculation here of the FENIX.
Okay.
I took off simply on the last meter of the runway.
Interesting. Yeah, 1,800 meters, 48 flex.
That was my own experience.
Yeah, I think I'm very heavy right now, and yeah.
Okay, we'll see what I get because I'm using the standard values as well. So see if I get airborne or not in time. So what do you say about the 787 scandal? Well, I talked about it a little bit. It's a very peculiar incident. As far as I understand, it has to do with the older versions. So the newer seat versions, the ones that we are flying, for example, I'm flying, don't have that issue anymore. Nevertheless,
that switch,
yeah,
that switch on the back side,
yeah, yeah, we do on the side, yeah. So below the lock of the shoulder harness. So, but the next time, honestly, I'm going to try again to make sure that I can switch that off without looking at it, just by feel. So, definitely something I'm going to have to look at next time. Good. Let's read a checklist.
The strange thing is, it is always Boeing. When there's something happens, it is always Boeing. I heard last days another Boeing aircraft, I don't know the type, lost again a part of the fuselage.
Yeah, it's quite often it's United actually at the moment. So
okay.
Right, cockpit preparation, gear pins, covers removed, fuel quantity 7,500 kilograms, seat belts on, ADRs enough. RF is 1012, 3,040 feet.
I heard the news of a Boeing manager, and he said if he died, it wouldn't be a suicide.
Oh, God. Remember that hidden report? Was it BBC or something when they asked the workers at a certain at a certain factory from Boeing if they would fly on let's say the 787, and a lot of them said no. I mean, that's scary to hear that. So parking brake is set. Takeoff speed thrust 125, 140, 140, and flex 48. Windows closed. And the beacon is on. So ten out of 15 said no. My God. What do you think of the INI? Where's my pushback truck going? I've never tried the INI A320 CO or Neo actually. Sorry, Neo. Yeah, I've never tried it. I have no idea. So when it is released, I'll try it out for sure.
I have to say, I don't really understand why they made the 320 again. We have now two 320s in the MSFS, It is the fly-by-wire and the FENIX. Why do we need another A320? Why haven't they done a different aircraft?
I don't know. I don't know. it's maybe the least amount of. I mean, I can't even say least amount of work or something. I honestly don't know.
Oh.
Winky says it's more for Xbox.
Okay. Will this be a free one or is it payware?
The INI should be that's free, but the 350 and 380 are payware, correct?
Yep.
I'm getting
That
confused.
can be, yeah.
I thought the fly-by-wire guys made the A380, and I thought that was
Yeah, they do.
as well.
Yeah, they do.
So let's see why I'm not getting pushback here. So I have to tell GSX again to continue with the pushback, which is kind of weird. Oh, Alex is also taking all of the runway. Actually, just looked at the winch with the trees there. Oh my god.
What again is the elevation there? The temperature?
Exiting from editing mode. Please wait.
Oh, look, guys. I did update GSX today, and I still get the problem. Right, let's do it this way. Brakes released.
Blackbox, I saw in your stream the altitudes are in meters.
Which altitudes? Sorry.
From our planes, the flying planes, the altitude are
Okay. Well,
in meters.
yeah. I think that's just a Sobo display. Good, so let's start the engine. So we have fuel pumps on, bleed available, good start pressure, 2 start. Oh, it's a setting in Microsoft options. Ah, okay. Then I guess I haven't changed that setting. And Michael says you can rotate quicker with F7, F8. Next time I will have forgotten that again, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closely.
You have to disable the lift
We are about
trucks.
to demonstrate the safety features of
Okay.
an Airbus A320 aircraft. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus A320. Please pay attention to illuminated signs, including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket contains important information.
Where do I have that setting?
Oxygen masks, life jackets, and the brace position, which you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft.
Aircraft
We
profile.
are now pointing out the exits nearest to you. Please be aware that your nearest usable exit may be behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened whenever the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above.
Alex, did you use the standard
Start the oxygen.
calculation?
Put the mask over your nose and mouth.
Well, I mean, this will be interesting to see if
Hold the mask in place with the strap
I have the
or
same
on each
issue
side to
on
adjust.
start. Okay.
Blackstone, what is the field elevation there?
3,000 feet.
Pull the strap to adjust.
Okay, it's not that high.
Inflate the life jacket inside the aircraft.
And very hot temperature maybe?
Inflate
Well, it's
the
34 degrees, yeah.
Yeah, that can be the reason.
Needs topping up. Blow into this tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. The cabin crew can assist you with.
No, it's not in here. The settings, I'm afraid.
Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest open, and seatbelt fastened. Further information regarding your safety on board can be found in the in-flight magazine. We hope you have a great flight.
Yeah, I mean, I might as well force Toga, right? Because if you guys all have issues.
But you shouldn't miss the scary part of this flight, Blackboard.
I just seen Alex take off. That scared the hell out of me, so we'll do Toga. So we have good engine start.
I think I have some leaves on my gear.
Alex, definitely.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I was so low
Okay.
at the end of a runway.
So let's do flight control check. Up, down, neutral, left, right, neutral, left, right, neutral after start. Checklist, anti-ice off. Ecam status checked. Trim is down 0.2. Red trim neutral. Let's go. Very small apron here.
I think normally they will fly there with Dash 8s or ATRs or something like that.
Probably, yeah.
And maybe 1 or 2 aircraft per day.
Gotta wait for the cabin now. Are you serious?
Yeah, for me, they needed very long. I had to ding-dong them. Then they got ready.
Hannah, hurry up. We need to go. So taxi checklist, flight controls check, flap setting, config 1 plus F.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff.
There we go. Radar degree system is on and auto.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you. Good. The cabin is secure. Engine mode selector normal. ECMO, takeoff no blue. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway. 14, full length. TCAS. TARA. I'm going to put the packs off for takeoff. Lineup checklist completed. A little bit wind from the left, it says. So 1 hour flight time. Cool.
And there's a little bit of tailwind. Maybe this is the issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be. Alrighty, let's go. Take off. So Toga power means thrust leaves all the way forward. Mantoga SRS, auto thrust blue. Knots. Wow, yeah, even with Toga power. V1, rotate.
So now imagine you have not used Toga.
Yeah.
There, even you're flying to the tree.
Yeah. So I guess that explains, because there were people asking about how accurate the FENIX calculations are, and I said, well, in the basic, calculations, the standard situations, yeah, it will be all right, but otherwise, it's going to have its issues, right?
For me, it was the first time that it was so wrong.
Yeah, I agree, Jelend, yeah. So at V1, I would have not been able to stop the aircraft. Yeah, so the whole calculation, doesn't really, is really invalid, yeah. Am I German? I in Germany? I live in Germany, yes, I do. So now you can see the terrain that we're talking about here. Look at that. And again, what a beautiful, beautiful area. So cool. Here comes S speed, accelerating, flaps 0, speed check, flaps 0. Right, let's...
There's no META in Maracaibo.
Okay, that's weird.
Oh, okay.
Oh, didn't do some of the items. This.
Little navmap says we have 070 with 13 knots and good visibility.
Yeah, okay, so it says, thanks, Julian. So it just has no wind. But yeah, 32 degrees, 1016. Lilo, good night to you. Take care, stay safe.
In Maracaibo, we have 38 degrees.
Yeah, that's warm.
Crazy.
Christopher, well, the thing is, well, I don't have real-world 320 performance data anymore because I switched fleets. So, and also that data is usually secret. I mean, so you can't really, you can't really just take the data and the whole speed out start. So the whole data array, the whole logic behind it, is very complex. And so I would have been very surprised, or I would be very surprised if any flight simulator would have 100% correct performance data for all different airports, for all different weather situations, for all different weight situations. We're talking about gigabytes and gigabytes of data. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you go back to the good old days where you actually had tables, paper tables, yeah, you had several folders full with all different airports that you fly to. Already 10,000 feet. So we're going to put the RatNav, fix info, secondary, copy active. It being a secret, you could check if it's in. Well, I don't have any data anymore, Gilend. So my EFB, as you can imagine, that data takes up a lot of space on your hard drive. So, or on the drive. So I don't have any data anymore regarding 320. I can't. I can check 787 data. I can check that, but I can't check. Well, I mean, again, I would imagine those online performance calculator are fairly basic. They will give you, for the normal standard conditions, sea level, normal weather, no contamination, they probably give you some good values. But as soon as you go higher level airports, shorter runways, hot weather, maybe wet runway, contaminant, that's it. Then those values will not work anymore. Because at the moment, Dayon, the transition altitude is at 18,000 feet. So you look here on the departure chart, it says transition altitude 18,000. And normally you would make sure, it doesn't matter if you fly Boeing or if you fly Airbus, you would look and check in the performance setup that you have the right transition flight level or transition altitude on departure on the takeoff page set. So now, once we pass 18,000, that will start flashing and remind us that we have to set the altimeters. Yeah. So here the visuals, yeah, you know, beautiful. Brilliant. Yeah, I agree. In general, Airbus, I think in general, you know, if you have an takeoff performance and landing performance calculator in the aircraft, it's there for immersion, isn't it? And, you know, 90% of the time, you're not going to have any issues. It's only in rare cases where those values suddenly, you know, in the extreme cases, will then be not correct and maybe get you into trouble. But otherwise, yeah, they're fine. Well, yeah, I mean, in real life, yeah, sure, it has much more drastic consequences. 100%. That may sting sometimes, yeah. There we go. So now it starts flashing.
Is this correct that both pilots do a performance calculation independently and compare it?
Yeah. Yeah, that is required. Takeoff and landing, yeah.
Okay. And the other checks then the input in the MCD was,
Yeah.
I guess.
So on long range, if we have 3 pilots, each of the pilots calculates it.
Ah, very good.
Dr. Fred says you always enter the runway to be shorter. Okay, well that's also a good idea. Yeah, why not? So, what you can do is make your own intersection takeoff data if you like. Right. So you can add a custom. So you can change the takeoff run available. So let's say, for example, today. We would have said, well, I'll tell you what, let's not take 1800, let's take 1600, right? Oh, ID. I don't know. There we go. So we'll take that. And then, yeah, then it tells you that you're limited with that weight. So it will tell you then actually max takeoff weight today would be 64.5. It's interesting, right? 200 meters suddenly means it's actually sensing an issue that the takeoff runway will not be long enough. And so it reduces your maximum possible takeoff weight. So if you take full length, it's still, even with, you know, if you don't force Toga, it tells you 69.7 tons. And that's something I find hard to believe. So let's do 1700 around that region. So 1700 gives you 68.1, and just 100 meters less then gives you no option. BMW Charlie, what do you mean? Which physics do you mean in particular? Steering on the runway or flare, or you know, what do you mean? What issues do you have? Flaring. Well, so here's the thing. I've watched some other streamers when they do on their first landing with the FENIX, so the Block 2. All of them, I've not seen a single other streamer, all of them slam the first landing. Simply because they are using the same input that we used to, call it muscle memory, with the Block 1. And if you flare at around 30 feet, 25 feet, and you do that normal input you used to do, that was prior to the latest update. But that means that you would not be able to raise the nose quickly enough. You would really have to, and we saw that initially, you almost had to pull back full back pressure. So now with the latest update, I feel that has become a little bit better. However, and then the real world pilots, all of them have said that the flare is just a little bit too strong. So the ground effect is a bit too strong. And that's what I said right from the start. The first landings I did with it, that's exactly my verdict. Chomper, so at the moment, you mean this data? If you go to my website, there, you will find that data. However, here at the moment, you can only access these things through the Flow Pro app, and then you have to get the widgets from our Discord server. I will say it feels a bit more smoother in Block 1. Yeah, Dr. Freight. Yeah, so good. Yeah, Brennert.
One question.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy told me, who made a real-life cockpit, told me the Airbus has a system in the flight sticks which blocks the flight stick during the autopilot is on.
Yeah.
So you can't move it.
Yeah.
Is this correct?
Yes, it locks it in place, so that whenever you know, because you'll be sitting, you know, sometimes your knee may hit the stick or something, or. So there's a lock in place. However, you can overpower that lock.
Yeah, but you need really much force.
Yeah, but in theory, it is, you can unblock it by, you know, implementing a certain force on the stick, and then it will unlock and kick out the autopilot.
Yeah, but normally you should press the disconnect button and then it is unlocked as well.
Yeah, exactly. But should that fail for whatever reason, then there will be a backup.
That's a completely new information for me. I haven't known before that there is a system which blocks the stick.
Yeah, but so here, what the only real indication you have in the sim is, if you listen to that carefully, you hear clack. It's not so loud here, but you hear that clack, and you hear it as well when you activate the autopilot, and that's the lock then activating on the stick.
Mm.
Gillen, you don't need average force, you need digital camera force. Yeah, that was one of the incidents, right? So at night time, a camera got locked here between the armrest and the flight stick, and then the captain, I think it was captain, moved his stick, moved the seat forward for landing, and it didn't see that the camera was lodged in between, and then that caused the autopilot disconnect and the stick to disconnect. Yeah, of course you don't have to be Superman, but still, I mean, it's designed so that, you know, any normal kind of force, you hit the stick or something accidentally, then it doesn't kick out. Although I've managed to kick out the autopilot with my knee, because I was resting my foot on the foot pedestal there, and just the knee, just the angle, it just hit the disconnect button there. That can happen.
They could have programmed it in this way that all inputs on the jokes, on the sticks were ignored during the autopilot is on, until you disconnect it.
I guess so, but in the end, yeah, I mean, and in the end, you know, the pilots need to have the final control of the aircraft, and normally, again, in the Airbus, nothing would happen until you exceed that force where you kick out the stick. What's the maximum ground speed you've ever seen in the... Oh, I think the strongest wind condition I've seen was 200 knots. So, you know, if you're doing 460 knots ground speed, so 660, 650, I don't think I've ever seen more than 700 in the 320.
I think some weeks ago there was a 777 which exceeded 1270 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there a website where, you know, ground speed records or something?
Maybe, I don't know. People on the ground should hear a sonic boom when they fly over them.
No,
Because it's faster than the sound.
No, but because you are so the aircraft itself. So think of it this way: aerodynamically, the air moving past the aircraft is still only 460 knots. So only when the actual speed of the aircraft, so the speed in relation to the surrounding air that the aircraft is in, only when that exceeds the Mach number, then you would have that sonic boom. So if you have a, you know, think of it, how can you? So if you are at the river, right, and the river flows, let's say at 30 kilometers an hour, and you have a model boat on that, which goes 30 kilometers an hour as well, maximum speed. So one way, the little ship would go 60 kilometers an hour in relation to you as you stand there and watch the boat. If it goes the other way, it will stand still in your relation.
Yeah, I understand. But where is the sonic boom coming from?
From the aircraft. It's coming.
Of course.
It's coming from the aircraft. So if the aircraft in relation to the surrounding air is not exceeding the Mach number, Mach 1, then there is no, then you don't have these Mach waves, right? These compression waves.
Okay. There was a question I asked a fighter pilot. I asked him, when there is for example, a Eurofighter flying with Mach 2, and he creates that shock wave and creates a sonic boom. And there is a second fighter pilot who is overtaking him very slowly and enters this shock wave. Shouldn't he hear the sonic boom continuously?
No. So that's the weird thing, Brennell. If you are in that cone of that shock wave, you hear nothing.
You don't hear it in your own aircraft,
No.
but when you're flying in the cone of a different aircraft, what's then?
Yeah, but then, so how do I describe that? It's hard to describe if you don't have a kind of a model to show. So as the aircraft flies faster and faster towards the speed of sound, the sound waves, so the pressure wave that the aircraft throws forward, become more and more compressed, right? So at the moment where you then reach Mach 1, that the sound, so the pressure waves from the aircraft cannot go forward anymore. So it all becomes very compressed. So the air that flows very fast prior to that shock wave is then slowed down after the shock wave. At least that's how I always visioned it. So, so if you are within that cone, you would not hear that sonic boom all the time. And I know it's hard to grasp, but the sonic boom can only be witnessed if you're on stationary somewhere, or let's put it not even stationary. If that sound wave, so that very strong compressed wave comes past you. So let's say you have an aircraft that flies below sonic speed. So let's say here in our airline, all right? So let's imagine a supersonic aircraft flies past us, very close to us. We would hear that sonic boom because we would be hit by those compressed waves going past. But if we move exactly at the same speed as those compressed waves don't overtake us. And so there's no sonic boom.
Okay. Have you ever seen a Concorde overtaking you?
No.
In the old days?
No. No. But these sonic booms, I mean, they are impressive, aren't they? I mean, the last one we've had, I think 2 weeks ago, because we have a training area above us, and I think accidentally one of the aircraft actually went into over Mach 1, and it shook the house. I could feel the chair being shaken that I was sitting in. So it's fascinating. If you look at an aircraft, you know, a fighter jet, I mean, it's not small, but it's not that big. But that's able to completely shake your house with a sonic boom. Crazy.
I can remember in the old days where I was a child, it was wasn't forbidden to go over the sonic barrier and over Germany, and the Americans often did. And I can remember that there's a very loud bang. And there exists a video on YouTube where a Concorde is flying supersonic over a cruise ship. And
oh yeah.
This is a crazy loud bang.
Yeah. And you know Mythbusters?
Yeah.
So in the US, they tested these myths. And one of the myths they tested was if a sonic boom can actually break glass.
Of course.
That's one of the best shows I've ever seen. So they took the Blue Angels, so one of the Blue Angels F-18s, into the desert. And they built a little house, so a wooden house with glass windows. They've put some glasses on a table outside, etc. And then they had that F-18 go supersonic above the house. And I was actually amazed, because I would have bet if that aircraft, even at 500 feet with a sonic boom, thank you, Brennell, for the link, it would destroy the windows for sure. But if I remember correctly, they actually had to go down pretty low to break the glass of the windows there. They were like...
I know they did some tests as the Concorde came out. They did some tests of supersonic flying over the land, and they had a lot of broken glass and so on. And so the result of it was that it is forbidden now to fly supersonic over the land.
Yeah, I can only imagine that, you know, the Concorde having a bigger mass, creating bigger shock waves, you know, physically. So maybe that's a different thing. Maybe fighter jets, they create, you know, some strong waves, but maybe not as, you know, that big that would damage windows.
Let's show this little video, Black Box. It's only a few of seconds. You can start after 15 seconds or so.
So let's have a look. Okay.
Sound on, sound loud.
Wow. So I would imagine these cruising, what, 30, 40,000 feet? Probably still in the climb?
Maybe it can be flight level 500 or so.
So, well, so here's the thing. I think if they're above the tropopause, I think that sonic boom is actually dampened. Because it is kind of a little barrier between the troposphere and the stratosphere. It sounds like a cannon shot, right? Blimey, that's loud. That is correct, Andrew. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the fighter jet. I mean, there's fighter jets that are designed in a way where it takes a lot of energy to get them through the speed of sound, but I mean, they can do it. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So actually, I thought about that, Oisk. Yeah. So there's a fighter pilot stream or fighter pilot channel on YouTube where CW Lemoyne and they talked about F-15 breaking some trailer glass, so from in a trailer park, so from some trailer houses, and apparently they broke some glass there, and they actually showed some of these calls or these recordings from the people calling the police, and I had it just even they cracked up laughing because yeah, the Move and Gonki show, yeah, it's funny. So they actually had a hard time not to laugh completely, because one of the callers, man, he was saying that they dropped bombs behind his trailer because of that sound. Yeah, they thought they dropped bombs. I'm like, right.
And imagine they wouldn't have forbidden to fly supersonic over the lands.
I mean, normally
you
it is.
would have lots of times a day.
Yeah.
Hearing this very loud sound, you would get
normally
crazy.
Yeah, normally it is not allowed. But how about, you know, these quick alert aircraft, so in Bavaria and in northern Germany, when they get called out to intercept an unidentified aircraft, they are allowed to go supersonic.
They are allowed, yes. But then the police and the fire departments get hundreds of calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I think we would have a lot of supersonic airliners to that nowadays, and they could fly supersonic, and you would hear 20, 30, 40, 50 supersonic bangs a day, you would get crazy.
Yeah. Well, imagine all the wildlife as well, right? I mean, you know.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would go the complete day with earphones or so.
I remember, so Airbus Addict, I remember flying as a co-pilot on the 737, and I witnessed the Concorde live taking off in Heathrow and in Paris, Charles de Gaulle. And we stood there at the holding point, and yeah, the whole aircraft shook. So our aircraft shook from the the noise and the pressure from those reheated engines. Yeah, so normally a double, the sonic boom is double because there's one wave at the front of the aircraft and one at the rear of the aircraft.
And with the big Concorde, you have a bigger double boom than with the smaller fighter planes.
Yeah, and also be aware that those waves are angled, meaning that so the further away you are from the aircraft, the bigger the delay between the first and the second boom. So if you are right below the aircraft, let's say only 100 feet, you would very likely only witness a single boom. Sherwin, Jörg said all the aircraft will be payware quality and made third-party devs. Will be payware quality and made by... Well, I mean, that's good news, Sherwin. However, so here's this. Regarding Microsoft 2024, I will be hugely disappointed if they do not drastically improve on the weather simulation and on the aerodynamic simulation, including inertia and so on. If they don't improve on that, I will be hugely disappointed. However, on the other side, if they actually manage to bring out a very realistic model, then that will be great news. Mundus, remember in the late 80s, Norwegian F-16 went supersonic over the islands just north of Bergen, and as it, the house was shaking. Yeah. The pilot got into trouble. Yeah. It is scary if you're not used to that sound. Even now, even though I know what it is, initially, man, it does rattle your nerves.
I think you never can get used to this sound because it comes so suddenly.
Yeah, and especially so if it's not only the sound, it's also the feeling it physically. That is what actually is so scary, I think. Krishu, hello to you.
I saw transition altitude at Maracaibo is 4,000.
So fairly
Really?
low. Very low, like in Amsterdam. Very low. Let's have a look here. Yeah, you're right. So 50 will be transition level. Gonna enter that in here. In France, plane passed sound wall near Paris, and everyone freaked out because they thought it's... Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? If you're not used to those sounds, and if you are a little bit under alerted or a higher alert level because there have been some terrorist attacks, in a city, then of course people will freak out. Yeah. So this, you can't take this topic lightly. You could have people having heart attacks because of that. So it's not a joke. I mean, so when I saw the advertisements for Microsoft 2024, my first impression was as well, oh god, here we go. It's getting more a game than anything else. I understand the fascination for many people to have, rescue missions, to have firefighting missions, helicopter missions, whatever. I fully understand that. I sometimes have, I enjoy those as well from time to time. However, there is, for me personally, I'm a hardcore flight simmer. I focus on different other things, and if I see those areas being neglected, time and time again, yeah, that does get me wound up a bit.
Don't forget, the flight simulator is made for the gamers.
Yeah. How often is the printer used in the 320? Well, Luca, it used to be well, it honestly, it was used a lot. Let's say, for example, before EFBs were installed. So, I mean, those printer rolls were actually very expensive, and they would only last like half a day in some parts, right? And so it was definitely a high motivation to get things onto the EFB. And so these days, you would pretty much... So give an example, in the 787, the only printout that I'm doing, or we pilots are doing, is for the oceanic clearance. That's the only printout these days we're doing from the aircraft printer. Everything else we get here in the EFB. So even like here now, it simulates the the weather call up, so we can get the weather for... Well, normally we can. At least for the alternate, the weather is there. But that's how we do it. We get it electronically. There's no need for any printouts anymore. Yeah, up to cut. Yeah, exactly. Again, I'll try to be open-minded regarding Microsoft 2024. Hey, Senshai, there he is. Good evening. I hope you had a lovely birthday, Senshai. Oh yeah, Senshai. There was a request. There was a request for a personalized background, black box 711 background. I have no... maybe you have an idea what we could do. Doesn't have to be anything from scratch, but just something, black box 711, something like that. Yeah, so I'll try to be open-minded regarding... Oh, there's one for the 737. Oh yeah, hang on. Downloads. Hold on. Downloads. Downloads. Other stuff. Oh, it's not there yet. Okay, well, all right. Cool. Yeah, again, I'll be open-minded regarding the new flight model, etc., etc. So we'll see. Right, enter destination data. We shall do that. Let's have a look. Weather, airports, Sierra, Victor, Mike, Charlie. No. Okay, here we don't have. So anybody?
Little enough map says it is wind is 060 with 12.
Okay, thank you much.
36 degrees and 1006 QNH.
Thank you much. All entered 1006. No, hang on, 1016 or 1006?
1006.
Really?
Yeah.
Because from 1700 UTC it was 1016.
Right now it is 1006.
Hey, stick figure. So, in what regard? What phenomenon do you mean? Has anyone seen the lightning phenomenon at Lake Maracaibo? So where are we flying to now? Is there a special? Hang on. Is there a special effect? So the Catatumbo lightning is an atmospheric phenomenon that occurs over the mouth of the Catatumbo River, where it empties into Lake Maracaibo, House of Thunder. It originates from a mass of storm clouds at an altitude of more than 1 kilometers, and it occurs 140, 160 nights a year. That's really often. Lightning flashes from 16 to 40 per minute. Wow, okay, well that's a lot of lightning. So that's like the place where it has the most lightning. Ah, I understand. So that's where we are. We're flying to the airport where you have the most lightning in the world. So
Let's have a look if it is simulated.
I think we are very lucky that it's currently not. We don't have thunderstorms there. Oh yes, talk about thunderstorms. Microsoft 2024 weather radar simulation. Huge topic for me because I mentioned it so many times. For us real-world pilots, the weather situations or the changing weather situations is the spice of life in our aviation life. So it's weird. So yeah, I don't get any. Maybe if somebody has landed, they can check what the altimeter setting is, please. Kalium, good evening. How are you? Hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, that's cool infos. I love that. Love the interaction. So the runway should be long enough. So I'm going to go with 1006, 34, and the wind we said was 60 at 12, so 36 degrees here. Oh my god.
Do you have live time in simulator right now?
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting light right now here.
Osama, I don't know. I honestly, I don't follow the comments there very often, but right now I don't know where they stand with that.
So guys, the Eagle has landed.
Okay, so
I'm at home.
can you do me a favor, Jeremiah? Can you have a look at what altimeter setting you have, and if that's correct with the elevation?
It's 1006.
1006. Okay. Thank you very much. Just surprised that it actually dropped that much. So automatic low. Flap full. Well, we can actually do flap 3, can't we? Yeah, flap 3. Let's see if approach path allows that. Yeah, about 3 degrees. 5 miles, 1800. Yep, that looks about right. So we want to have Mike Alpha Romeo. And the inbound course is 037. Top of descent, so let's go down initially 200. Descent out blue 200. How can I make direct to right or left? You mean here in the A320? So the easiest way would be to pull on that heading knob and then just turn the knob left or right. Otherwise, in manual flight, stick to the left, stick to the right. Oh, okay, so essential. Are you referring to the the thing regarding if you can implement our checklists, etc. here in the top menu, or what do you mean the API doesn't return anything? I'm a bit lost right now. Good. So what is the plan for the arrival? So what we're going to do, we're going to arrive via Borbat. So we'll descend to 50, and then theoretically we would either get radar vectors or we would have to fly the standard approach. Now what I think I'll do is I'll go to Maro and fly the ARC. So from, let's see. So from Borbat. Let's see. So Borbat, we want to go to Maro, okay? Because I want to practice flying the ARC a little bit. Maro. Did I spell that wrong? Maro. I thought I inserted correctly. Maro. There we go. And then from Maro, we're going to try to intercept that arc. So it's a 13 dm arc, and then we'll intercept the final. Oh my god! What, Alex? You've given yourself a green hydraulic and engine 2 failure. Now let me just quickly talk about if that's a good idea or not. So green system is gone, and then he failed the right engine, so the yellow engine driven pump is off, and you're not supposed to use the ELIC pump for longer periods of time because that can overheat. So you've literally given yourself a dual hydraulic failure and an engine failure. You are a hero. Really, you are a hero. Well, he likes to live more than just on the edge. Hang on, let me just start my bots here. I wanted to give him a round of applause. Hang on. There we go. Because from what I can see, look, if you fail green and yellow, like we mentioned before, you lose the pitch trim. Your part of your flight controls, so aileron elevators, are gone, and you have asymmetric thrust. Success not guaranteed. No, but I tell you what, if you land that heap of scrap metal, you will have my utmost respect. Seriously. here comes the coastline. Oh. I'll be darned. Green hydraulic failure. Alright. Normal law. We'll continue to descend. Right. Hydraulic green reservoir low. Let's confirm the failure on the top here. Fault lights there. Looks genuine. So let's do the hydraulic green reservoir low level. ECAM actions. PTU off. So PTU, power transfer unit, switch that to off. Why? Because we want to prevent fluid it's not a fluid transfer, it's power transfer. So if the system overheats, we don't want to kill the other system as well. Green engine 1 pump off. Well, that pump is still physically connected, so we de-energize that so it doesn't continue to run on dry fluid or no fluid, so it doesn't overheat. So now we get a secondary failure. So green system low pressure, and we have wheel and flight controls. So wheel page, normal braking in up, auto brake is in up, auto braking is good. Bermuda Triangle out. So clear wheel, flight controls, yeah, spoilers in up as well. And now status. Now this is the thing, landing gear, gravity extension. This is the first thing that's already annoying. Landing distance procedure apply. So we would have to calculate now the landing with that failure. So we would go into hydraulic systems, green pressure low, and that's max manual braking. So now if we apply max braking force with the alternate braking, that's still fine, right? So that's not a big issue then. So alternate yellow brake with anti-skid, slats flaps slow, Cat 2 only, in-up systems, green hydraulics, spoiler 1 and 5, Cat 3, normal braking, auto brake, landing gear retract. So once the gear's down, we can't retract it anymore. Reverser 1 is in up, engine 1 pump is in up, and yaw damper 1 is in up. Remove status, ECAM actions completed. Blimey. Actually, hand flying. Yeah, I would imagine so. Oh. Oh my god. Manual flight. So we have auto flight. Autopilot off. Engine 2 fail. You've got to be kidding me. What? So still normal law. Today's doomed. Right. So auto thrust is still active. Let's get to 235 knots here. Let's try the other autopilot. That's interesting. Autopilot is working. Good, so ECAM actions. Engine 2 fail. Engine mode select ignition. Action, yeah, ignition set. Thrust lever number 2 idle. 2 confirm. Confirmed. Idle. If there's engine master 2 off. Confirm. Number 2 confirmed. Off. If damage, well, be careful with the speed. Let's do this with thrust idle up descend. Yeah, it is damage, so we'll try to secure the engine now. Engine 2 fire push button push, confirm. Number 2 confirmed. Pushed. Oh my god, yeah, that's what I thought. And now we have dual hydraulic failure, alternate law. Auto thrust is still working, okay. Right. Autopilot off, checked, clear auto flight. So agent 1 discharge, that was still the other checklist. You see, that's the problem. So we've just working on one checklist. Now a second checklist comes in and overrides the other checklist. Oh, it's just applying a little bit of rudder there. Trying to get the aircraft to fly straight. So that now takes priority. So Ecam actions. Hydraulic green and yellow system low pressure. Yeah, confirmed. Yellow engine 2 pump off. Same thing. Try to avoid overheat. 2 pump off. Bit too much rudder trim to there. Let's try that. Okay. Right. Yellow ilic pump on now. But it's a procedure, so it's straight. I'm surprised. I can't recollect that actually being in the real aircraft, because we were told that the yellow ilic pump is not supposed to be used for long periods of time. That's not what it's designed for. It's designed for ground operations, really. So now, that's the weird thing. Now that we have yellow ilic power again, obviously we don't have dual hydraulic failure. So the aircraft reverted back to normal law. We can go back to autopilot on. And now that checklist has gone. Kind of weird. Let's put this to MCT so it stops beeping. Good. Okay, back to engine 2 fail then. Oops. Agent 1 discharge. No, you still have a blue hydraulic. So the blue is for the slats. So the slats will still come out. Not the flaps, but the slats. But okay, I mean, I'm not going to disagree for now. I mean, if that's actually the checklist, well, why not? Let's go down to 4,000 feet here. Open descent, out blue, 4,000. 30 miles. Let's do speed brakes here. If no damage, well, we said it's damage. So shut down. If no fuel leak. Well, it looks all right. No fuel leak. Imbalance monitor. TCAS TA set. Avoid icing conditions. Overflow. And that's it. Hydraulic. Already done that. So clear hydraulic as well. And then land ASAP and amber now. Air bleed. So right system is off. Left is running. ELEC. Well, I can start the APU. Clear ELEC. Oh god. Status now. Avoid ice conditions. Okay. If you have severe ice aggression, we don't have that, so don't worry about this. Landing gear gravity extension. Landing distance procedure apply. If no engine damage, consider relight. Well, we have a damage, so no relight. Also yellow brake with anti-skid. Slats flap slow. Cat 2 only. In-up systems. Green hydraulics. Spoilers 1 and 5. Wing anti-ice. Cat 3. Norm brake. Auto brake. Landing gear track. Engine 2 bleed. Reverser 1. Pack 2. Main galley. Gen 2. Green. You know, your temper. So nothing new. So the biggest threat I can see that we need to mitigate is slow flap and slap movement. And the fact that we cannot retract the landing gear, which would make a which will make a missed approach single engine challenging. Normally, you wouldn't have that scenario in your calculator, you know, regarding climb gradient, etc., etc. So. How can it say it's damaged? Normally you would have no more rotation in N1 or N2, or there's a very strong vibration. Otherwise, we don't really call out an engine being damaged completely. So they've kind of changed that definition over the last couple of years, because in the end, if you are able to run the engine at idle power, it's better than to just switch it off, because if you switch it off, you lose hydraulic power, electric power. Eventually, you know, sometimes the generator may stay connected if the RPM is still high enough in the windmilling. So yeah, you know, you would try to. Oh, I have a good landing, Alex. We're all counting on you. But yes, if the pilots decide, for whatever reason, and usually would have high vibrations where the whole aircraft shakes. That would be a damage. Or if there's no more rotation in these shafts, so N2, N1, then definitely that would be a damage as well. Yeah, you're right, Brennell. Lovely sunset.
Kind of challenging winds. I had a lot of turbulences in the final.
Okay. The galley won. Well, it's quite important. It's a quite important message. So now, well, actually, I have the APU running. So galley means no coffee. Right. Otherwise, I don't know why they would put that there. Because why would I care that a galley doesn't have any more power? Right, don't panic, guys. Don't panic. Right, no coffee, but I know it's bad. All right. I mean, we could live.
This is the worst failure of all.
Yeah, exactly. So you can give me engine failure, no hydraulics, all good, but no coffee machine. Oh.
Yeah.
No good.
Alex did a fine landing.
GG's, well done. So we can't use auto brake. We've got to use max manual braking. So yeah. So let's look at the threats. Single engine. Challenging approach. Crosswind from the right. Once the landing gear is down, we can't raise it again. Missed approach will be very challenging. So we try to establish early, especially with regards to the slow flap and slap movement. Landing distance is plenty though. I think we're 3,000 meters if I saw that correctly. Yeah, 3,000 meters is available. So we need about 1,500 according to this. No. I think again, it probably is my filter, my game filter that I'm using. So it may look different on your monitors. So this would be without the game filters. This is with. Good. That means actually we're going to go give ourselves. I'm not going to fly the Arc now, single engine. So let's just give us radar vectors. I'm going to go to final fix. Actually, let's go direct to and altimeters. Everything's at the same time as always. 1006. So final fix and out is going to be 217. Insert extend the center line is in. Speed brakes in. Let's go vertical speed. Level off. And we'll descend 2,000 feet. Here already for the speed reduction again. Flaps, slats take a bit longer, so I want to have a bit longer final. Beautiful sunset. Yeah, so with ATC, I would request probably like a 15-mile final. Actually, let's go 2,500 for now. There's no need to go down to 2,000 feet outstar. So below limit speed, flaps 1, speed is checked. Flaps 1, status again, just checking. Nothing new, remove status. So like I said, outer green system, outer spoilers. So the inner outer spoilers in up The rest is still functioning. And that's all because we're running on the yellow ALIC pump. Flaps 2. So I've always wondered, so in the real air, or the real simulator, I've always wondered about that note regarding they take longer to extend. I mean, I haven't really noticed anything drastically longer. Looking back at the 737 back then, that took a long time with electric motors to 7.4 from the... no, that's fine. Okay, so that took a long time back then, but otherwise, 320, I never had the feeling that it takes drastically long. So the final altitude is 1900. I'll take flight path angle here. So let's check. Oh, it's already alive. Let's intercept the final. Gears coming down. And we use gravity gear extensions, so... where's the click spot? Oh my god, where's the click spot for that? There it is. 1, 2, 3. There's the runway. My god, we're lucky. Down 3 green, landing gear levers. And normally we would have a checklist as well for the manual gear extension. I just quit those. So I'm going to do config 3 landing. And there's the runway descending at 7.4 miles. So it's a bit offset, it seems like, that approach. Interesting. And flaps 3, final setting. Yeah, landing gear door is not closed. I'll show you that in a minute once I have some capacity. So on the radial, VDEF coming in. Speed is managed. Remove landing gear doors. Remove stators. So 3 degree down, it should be okay. So I'm going to pre-dial the flight path angle. Missed approach, we'll put 3000 in there. Alex says you almost did a go around, okay. So we've got a bit of headwind here. Whew, cabin. Let's get the ready. So just a tad low, correcting. Oh yeah, that'd be okay. So you can see the landing gear doors. Here, the center doors, they don't close anymore because they would need green hydraulic power to close. I think, I don't know, my cabin crew, they've left the aircraft, I think. Oh, there we go. No. They had enough. They said, no, this job's too dangerous. Good, cabin is ready. Landing checklist, eco landing, no blue. Right, let's try this, shall we? Manual thrust. Manual flight.
1000.
1000 checked. One thing I've had in the level D simulator, I've had so many different critical failures. So we're talking dual hydraulic failures, flight control, computer issues, flap issues, whatever. And I have to admit, I have to say that the Airbus, careful with the center rate, the Airbus actually handles all of these things extremely well. Meaning the hand flying the aircraft has never been an issue. And that's, I find that from an engineering standpoint, I find that really interesting, fascinating to get an aircraft to such a state where the pilot is still supported by the fly-by-wire system.
100.
Or if it's in manual flight,
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 5.
there we go. Max manual braking. Braking action is still good. And there we go. Yeah. Oh, pretty, the tower. Look at the... Do you have payware scenery, Brennel, for that? For this airport?
Oh, no, unfortunately not. But I can remember I have bought a scenery for you, but maybe it is not active.
Looks very pretty. Towers.
Yeah.
Nice. So, everybody's here.
Have you ever had situations in your Level D simulator where you was not able to land the aircraft safely?
Well, we
or
did.
Are they always planned so that you are able to solve that
Yes,
problem?
yes, because they don't want you to have a negative training effect. So they always want you to, finish the flight simulator session knowing that, you've saved the aircraft and everyone on board, and, it's a good feeling. So actually having you crash and everybody die, that's not what they're aiming for. So that's, the scenarios are always in a manner where you can still land the aircraft safely. Now, what can happen though is that sometimes the instructor would ask, so after the mission is completed and if you have some time left, they would ask you if you want to do something specific, practice something else, or if they should give you an interesting failure for practice. And I remember one time, the instructor asked me, because that's the first time I was on a Neo flight simulator, and he said, you want to do a dual engine out and a glide approach? And so I did. And it was actually a good experience because I was surprised how much different the behavior was, the glide behavior of the Neo was. And so, that was something. Oh yeah, and then of course I was going to try to pull the stunt with the Yale power and the PTU to get all of the hydraulic systems working. And then the instructor said, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. And I was like, uh-oh. Because then I couldn't get the flaps out. So I can only get the slats out because the blue system runs with the rat, but I couldn't get the flaps out anymore. Could use the speed brakes. So I had a real issue judging my gliding distance to the field. So, but yeah, and then we made it. Then we touched down. It was Nice, I remember that. Then touched down, and I only had 1,000 psi brake pressure remaining. So that was the acupressure. So every time I touched the brake pedals, it would decrease. But the anti-skid was in up as well, and so you had to limit. Look at that. The pressure does go above 1,000 psi, so that the tires don't burst. And the problem was that we were so fast that the brake pressure of 1,000 psi just wasn't enough to get the aircraft stopped in time, so I could see the end of the runway approaching. We had 30, 40 knots. So I just pulled the last stunt, which was to set the parking brake. And the cool thing is, so normally your control steering unit would limit the pressure automatically to 1,000 psi to save the tires. However, with the parking brake lever, that's ignored, and then you get the full pressure. It means as well that you're going to burst the tires, but I mean, it's still better than to go into the water, right? So I pulled that stunt.
Welcome
I mean,
aboard
the simulator,
Captain Black Box Duo Channel.
You have to realize that
could new subscribers
the level 3
please
simulator
make their way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight
Hey, Street.
entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Street, thank you so much for the 10 months.
less than 3.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the support stream. So you can imagine when I slammed on the parking brake, the whole simulator kind of went dook, you know, full forward. And all I heard the instructor captain said, "Oh shit." That's all I heard him say, because he knew what was coming. I mean, we were strapped in the front there, but yeah, the instructor had a hard time staying on his seat back behind us. Yeah, but yeah, that's you know, so. But hey, I mean, you know, we stayed safe, right? We didn't go over the edge, so mission accomplished, I would say. I was proud. I was really proud. The instructor, the only instructor said was, "Oh, that's an idea." I wouldn't have thought of that. So, well, there we go. I think you remember now. Well, that was a fantastic flight as well. Interesting failure for sure. Hope you enjoy that. And so, welcome to. How did you pronounce that again? I can't remember. It's
Maracaibo.
Maracaibo. Okay, so I love to get daytime here. So where's that lake?
Nice lighting on the tower.
Yeah, nighttime lighting is great. So, that lake there. So here on the lake, that's the place which has most lightning strikes. Yeah, ABCU I think it's called, Alternate Brake Control Unit.
This lake, isn't it a part of the ocean?
I don't know. It said on Wikipedia. It said lake.
Good night, black box.
Jeremiah, vielen Dank fürs Mitfliegen. Thank you so much. Take care. Stay safe. Until next time. Thank you very much, Brennelt, as well, as always, organizing the group flight for us.
Welcome.
And once again, guys, you can get yourself a group flight rank, meaning that you will only get pinged if you're actually interested in group flights. But that way you will not miss a group flight. Kilian,
you
thank
can
you
only
much.
see the group flight channels when you have this group flight role. Otherwise, you will not see the group flight channels.
Ah, okay. So in order to see those channels as well, you have to be listed there. Alex, thanks for lying along. Thanks. Guys, thank you so much, my dear moderators. As always, thank you for all of the help. Big shout out. And I will see you again on Wednesday. No, yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday is next stream. Thank you very much, everyone. Good night, and I will see you soon. Take care.